Good morning to those who will listen. It is May 10th, 2018, 9:02 a.m. And a lot of stuff happened last night with Israel and Syria. It was reported that Israel's strikes in Syria killed up to 23 people and 18 of them foreigners. Russia says that 28 IAF jets fired 70 missiles. And Israel claims that dozens of Iranian military targets were hit.
Hello, and thanks for joining us from our studios in Israel. I'm Aaron Porras, here with ILTV's morning briefing. The IDF has confirmed that last night's airstrikes have damaged or destroyed dozens of Iranian military sites throughout Syria. Though the dust is still settling, this is by far the largest Israeli assault on Iranian targets in the region. Israeli jets took to the sky after as many as 20 Iranian missiles were launched at IDF targets in northern Israel. At this time, there were no casualties or injuries reported, and we believe the Iron Dome intercepted most of the warheads. Defense Minister Avigdor Lieberman confirmed Israel's counterattack personally. According to Lieberman, the IDF wiped out nearly all of Iran's military sites in Syria. And at the same time, however, army officials warned that Iran is still quite capable of launching further attacks. Sirens broke out across northern Israel last night, sending Israeli citizens to the bomb shelter moments before Iranian missiles left Syrian airspace. Russia was informed of Israel's counterattack before it was carried out, likely in an attempt to calm any further flare-ups between Moscow and its ally, Syria. This is the culmination of weeks of tensions across Israel's northern border, a situation thrown into further uncertainty following President Trump's decision to withdraw from the Iranian nuclear deal. With the fate of that deal still very much up in the air, analysts worry that Trump, bolstered by Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu, has now set an unavoidable trajectory to a new regional war. This is the outcome most Israelis are indeed bracing for. Despite rocket sirens that sent Israelis across northern Israel to the bomb shelters after midnight last night, it's business as usual this morning. The army has urged citizens in the Golan area to remain calm despite last night's explosive events. Schools this morning are open on time, even though for many families it was a rather sleepless night. Israelis are certainly no stranger to war, but still, the launch of some 20 Iranian missiles from Syria, followed by a massive IDF counterstrike, marks perhaps the biggest exchange of fire in Syrian airspace since the Yom Kippur War in 1973. Tensions have been boiling along this front for many months now, as Iran has increasingly found a foothold on Israel's doorstep. But that tension has clearly boiled over in the wake of President Trump's controversial decision to unilaterally withdraw America from the nuclear deal with Iran, something Prime Minister Netanyahu has lobbied for from the start. With no clear plan B on the table to prevent Iran from developing nukes, however, many say Netanyahu is actually pursuing a war with Tehran. The latest polls show a sizable surge of support for Netanyahu's Likud party following Trump's decision to nix the nuclear deal. If elections were held today, the Likud could see as many as 42 seats in the Knesset, from its current 30. Despite the obvious threat of war as a result of Trump's decision, the majority of Israelis actually support the nixing of the JCPOA. Interestingly, Trump's decision is wildly unpopular in the United States, though, where 2/3 of Americans agree that withdrawing was a mistake. It remains to be seen if the deal can be saved, or if a regional war is on the horizon regardless. With the opening of the new United States Embassy in Jerusalem set for next week, the leaders of Hamas have promised a bloody finale to the weeks-long March of Return protest. Hamas leaders have just delivered a chilling rally cry to hundreds of Gaza youths. They say that when the protests reach their climax next week on May 14th, their leaders will be ready to die for a decisive end to Israel's blockade of the Gaza Strip. This finale will mark the end of over 6 weeks of Palestinian demonstrations along the Gaza border. These rallies were initially declared a non-violent sit-in, but from the get-go, the clashes regularly erupted into bloodshed and violence aimed at the Jewish state. As many as tens of thousands of Palestinians clashed violently with IDF forces stationed along the border, as troops responded to firebombs, stone throwing, and attempted infiltrations. The international community has repeatedly condemned Israel for its use of lethal force since the clashes began, and at this time over 40 Palestinians, including 2 teenagers and 2 journalists, have been killed by IDF bullets. Some say this has won Hamas something of a PR war against Israel. Still, we've learned that Hamas is actually seeking a long-term ceasefire deal with Israel at this time. Reports say that an unnamed Western country is already brokering terms between Israel and Hamas. If true, the terror group would be willing to concede major terms, such as ending violence and agreeing to a prisoner swap in exchange for Israel easing its blockade of the Strip. Given Hamas's very public pursuit of violence leading up to next week's embassy opening, however, Israel is unlikely to entertain a ceasefire deal. Sources say that the Western nation negotiating the deal hopes that things can move forward, though, after the May 15th embassy ceremony. 15.
Wow, so a lot going on, and still a lot more to come. I'm kind of, for some reason, more worried about the Palestinians' march of protest, the land protest. But we'll have to just wait and see. But Monday, May 14th, and the May 15th are the dates that I'm really concerned about. There might be a little lull in this war between Israel and Syria. Or there might not, we don't know. But either way, I see lots of Bible prophecy being fulfilled with what's going on now. Just pray for Israel, pray that everything goes okay, and when there's peace on May 14th, when they open up the embassy and Israel celebrates their 70-year anniversary on the Gregorian calendar, because they already celebrated their anniversary on April 19th. But pray for peace during that protest. It's supposed to be a peaceful protest, but I got a feeling it's going to be very violent. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. God bless.